One man and had it all, then lost everything. But when wealth, his health, and family are gone, is faith enough? In the heart of the tech world, one name stood out: Job. He turned a garage startup into a billion-dollar legacy. He wasn't just a CEO, he was a symbol of brilliance. He was a titan of modern industry, a man who built empires with visions sharper than steel, and hands that turned dreams into skyscrapers. The media called him the Oracle of the boardroom. Investors hung on his every word, his staff loyal, his family proud. His name respected in places where names become legacy. To the world he had it all. Success that didn't whisper, it roared. Children who honored him. A wife who stood beside him. Health, wealth, power, he had it all. And even kings in penthouses cannot see storms brewing on the horizon. He didn't know it yet, but everything he trusted was about to fall. Far above boardrooms and breaking news, angels stood in silence. A divine council gathered. The Almighty sat enthroned in glory. Then came the accuser, watchful, calculating. "Well, where have you come from?" the Lord asked. "From roaming the earth," he replied. God spoke. "Have you considered my servant Job, upright, faithful, blameless?" But the accuser scoffed. "Of course he worships you. Look how blessed he is. Strip it away and he'll curse you to your face." And then permission was given, not to destroy, but to prove. Job's trials would not be punishment. They would be a stage, a testimony written in suffering, for heaven, for earth, for us. The fall came fast. Stocks plummeted. Banks pulled out. Contracts dissolved like smoke. One call after another. Assets gone. His company, his life's work, crumbling beneath him. Then came the news no man is built to bear. His children dead. A freak accident, one tragic moment, took everything. Soon after, his body began to fail. Illness took his strength. Friends vanished. Even his wife, shattered by grief, cried out, "Curse God and die!" But Job didn't. He tore his robe. He fell to the ground and worshipped. And then came silence. No voice from the heavens. No miracle. No answer. The man who once heard applause now heard only the wind. Day after day, he sat in the dust. His body broken, his heart bleeding, his soul crying out, "Why?" But the heavens remained quiet. It is in the silence where faith is tested deepest. And Job remained, not with understanding, not with comfort, but with trust. Word spread. Friends came, men who once admired him. They sat in silence for 7 days. Grief too deep for words, but silence broke, and with it the wounds deepened. "Surely you have sinned," they said. God would not allow such suffering without cause. Accusations masked as wisdom. Comfort turned to condemnation. But Job, though weary, spoke, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." It was not the answers he sought. It was the presence he missed. Yet even surrounded by voices, Job faced the darkest trial, the isolation of misunderstood faith. And in the depths of silence, a voice broke the void. Not an answer, not an explanation, a revelation. When the morning stars sang together, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?" Job trembled. He had questioned the Almighty, but now stood before his infinite wisdom. No more arguments, no more pride, only awe. "I have heard of you with my ears, but now my eyes have seen you." In the ashes, Job met the eternal. In the dust, with nothing left but breath, Job bowed low. No defense, no demand, only surrender. And from the depths of his soul, words eternal rose. "For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God." Faith beyond circumstance, hope beyond the grave, worship in the ashes. The man who had lost all gained what none could take away. And in time the silence broke, not with thunder but with grace. The Lord restored what was lost, doubled it. New children, new beginnings, a heart still bowed, but now overflowing. Job no longer worshipped for what he had, but for who he had come to know. The man who had seen God in the ashes now saw his goodness in the land of the living. In the years that followed, Job's life became a testament, not of wealth, not of power, but of faith refined by fire. His story was told through generations, his words recorded for all time. For I know that my Redeemer lives. A cry from the ashes, now an anthem of hope. Through suffering, Job had left a legacy not of loss, but of unshakable trust in the living God. And seasons where all seems lost. But Job reminds us, our Redeemer lives, and no darkness can steal the hope that stands beyond this life. Across the centuries, his story still speaks, not of a man who suffered, but of a man who trusted. We too face unseen battles. When all else is gone, faith remains. And through faith, we too will see God. If this story moved your heart, take a moment to reflect. And remember, no storm lasts forever, and no trial is wasted in God's hands. For more timeless truths and stories that stir the soul, subscribe and walk with us through the pages of faith.